In the previous classes, we have already discussed about the meaning of liberalization and the different features of liberalization. Now, today in this class, we will discuss about what is the privatization and the argument in support of privatization. That is, why privatization is important. Why there should be a need of privatization. That we are going to discuss in this class. Now, let us know what is the meaning of this word privatization. It leads to the process of transfer of ownership from the government to the private sector. So this is called the privatization. Just there's a transfer of ownership from the government to some private owners, to the private person. So this is called the privatization. Okay, next is that uh, the arguments in support of privatization. The first one you see ideological ground. The public sector enterprises are conformed to essential activities which the private sector cannot. Okay, that means what the public sector is confined only in some essential activities, not in all. The other activities should be performed by the private sector as they are more efficient. In many cases, you will find that the private the sectors are very much efficient than the public sector. So everything cannot be run by the public sector. It cannot be run by the government. So in some cases, the private sector have to take the responsibility of running it as because they are very much efficient. Next point, creation of competitive environment. Now see, when there is a transfer of ownership from the public sector to the private sector, that means what? There will be an abolish of their monopoly. The monopoly will be abolished. So the competitive environment is created. So in that case, what happened? The competitive environment is created. So it increases the productive efficiency by using the modern and improved technology. Okay. Now, when there is a transfer of ownership from the public to the private sector, there will be an abolish of their monopoly. So what happens? So the competitive environment is created, and this will what? This will increase the productive efficiency by using the modern and improved technologies. Okay, next is what profit-oriented decision. That means the private sector will introducing the profit-oriented decision-making process. It lead to improve in the efficiency. Okay, so this is a profit-oriented decision. That means it will introduce the profit-oriented decision-making, and this will what happen? This will improve the efficiency. Next is what greater flexibility in decision-making. This means that if there's a delay in any decision making, that means what it is equivalent to no decision at all. But in the case of privatization, it is very helpful in taking the decision. Because why? What happened? Because they can take the decision very quickly and a timely decision they can take. Next is what improvement in managerial efficiency. That means the privatization through disinvestment will establish a direct relationship between the shareholders and the management. The private shareholders would have a direct interest in improving the efficiency. So this is what? This is improving in the managerial efficiency. Now privatization through disinvestment, they can able to establish a direct relationship between the shareholders and the management. So what happens? So in the case of the private shareholders, they have a direct interest in improving the efficiency. Next is what? Greater attention to consumer satisfaction. Always there will be a attention given to the consumer in the case of the private sector, because the private sector will give attention to the need of the customer just for creating and sustaining their market, because the consumer satisfaction is very important in the case of sustainable for the private sector. If the consumer is satisfied, then the private sector will be sustained in the market. So the main thing of this private sector is to give very much attention in the interest of the consumer. So these are the 6 point uh, the arguments which in support of privatization. I hope the thing is very much clear to you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe it because important videos are often posted in this channel so that you won't miss out any of the videos. Thanks for watching the channel.